This will be a little pre-show nonsense.
So they said the rash will go away.
Oh, why do them? Aye. Many gun. Aye. Let me tell Taryn do that quiz. Do that quiz.
Let's do it. 1 for 2.
I'm like 1 for 5.
Do that quiz.
Frighten you. That's incorrect. I didn't mean to frighten you prematurely.
Shh.
Sorry.
Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it. We're going to see who the ultimate Haunted Mansion fan is.
Not me.
If Terrence beats me at this, I'm going to be pissed. I'll be thoroughly upset.
You should be, because I'm 5, 6, 4 for 5, 5, 6.
Yeah. I didn't start screwing up until question 6, so.
Got that one.
Oh, I got 6.
All right, let me check the old.
The mics are on.
Oh.
No, the mics are on. Yeah. Well, you were swearing, Beverly.
I screamed the F word.
Wow, dude, you don't care about anything.
Shut up! I'm trying to do this and read, and stop talking to me.
Cool story, Bev.
All right.
Don't tell me what you got.
Okay. That good?
Yeah.
Oh man! By the way, we have news to go through today.
It sucks so bad.
Are we streaming?
Yeah, we should be.
I don't see anything on the thing with the thing. I'm on the Earzup.
Welcome back, Earzup podcast. Oh, you know what? I have to transition it.
No, there's nothing that says live.
I mean, we are definitely streaming. Earzup real. Yes. Okay.
Oh, I didn't do that part.
Never. Oh yeah. Okay. I guess you guys can tell each other, but I just don't want to know.
I want to take.
No, it says we're live. I think. Yeah. It says we're live. Okay. I'm going to start this piece.
I can't believe you almost have. Whatever.
It's time for the show that brings the magic right to your speakers. Ears up!
Hey everybody, welcome. Ears Up podcast. And we have almost a full studio, which I'm excited about very much. Taryn is putting Alice to sleep, but we don't anticipate any issues, and she should be joining us momentarily. We have Beverly.
Hi.
And Terrence.
What up?
What up?
I don't know what's going on still. I still can't find it. But
What can't you find?
the live.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at it right now. So, I don't know. And we're definitely live on YouTube. So, for the next show, pay attention to our social media. Whenever it says we're going live or we're recording or whatever, it really also means go to YouTube and get in the chat and chat with us. Or else, what's Terrence going to do? What's up,
That's it.
Bev?
She's just checking.
Oh, okay.
I also usually get a notification on my phone when we go live, and I didn't get that.
Well, I don't know what to tell everybody, but we have a good show for you, brought to you by the fine folks at GetAwayToday.com. As usual, they are Disney's top wholesale partner. They will help you plan your Disneyland vacation with the best tips and secrets, all while making it affordable with their discounted tickets, reduced hotel rates, and layaway plan. Head on over to GetAwayToday.com/EarsUp and start planning your magical vacation. Tell them Earzup sent you and use code Earzup to save an extra $10 on your SoCal vacation package. Terrence, this is a Terrence show today.
Yes.
And you're going to take us through
the history of America Sings.
Man, you know what? And that's perfect timing because I don't know why.
Okay.
It just
sounds
is.
good.
It's
America sings.
America does.
America needs to sing right now, man. Let's put down our guns, let's put down our knives, and let's just sing.
Right.
Man. Have a straight up Lionel Richie. All night long. Just from every street, every ghetto, every
ghetto borough.
Yes, everywhere. Everywhere you meet.
Man, I think that would be good. I think it'd be good stuff, dude.
It's what the world needs now, man. It's more singing.
That's very true. 100%.
Yes.
All you need is love and music
And money.
and money.
Probably some food at some point. And
Right. Absolutely. But I'm excited about that. America Sings. Now, it's not there anymore, right? It's not a thing that exists.
It is not a thing. It does not exist anywhere for any reason ever, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And you'll find out why when we go through this.
Well, I'm excited to hear that. We also have a bunch of news. The investor call or whatever with Bob Iger happened this week, and so there's a lot of information to unpack there. We're not going to get too deep into it because it's a lot of information to unpack there, and a lot of it has to do with numbers. Yeah. And while I'm really very smart, I'm a stable genius. With numbers and stuff, I'm very unstable.
Understandable. You can't be great at everything.
I can't. I mean, well,
that's just your one thing you're not good at, so it's good.
That's true.
Well, allowed one.
Keeps you humble.
Absolutely. There's also some drama that happened in Disneyland again.
Another fight? What?
Not a fight necessarily, but definitely the threat of one. It's a whole thing.
I heard about that.
It's relatively recent. Yeah.
Don't learn.
You're at Disneyland, homie. Come on, dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's also more information on remakes happening, and it's just, we got a lot of news.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Don't ruin it.
Disney's making remakes?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yes.
No, I honestly don't know anything about it. I can't ruin it, so you're going to ruin my life.
I think it's pretty much fresh news right now, and I think it's coming because it's all coming out of Iger's mouth, and to hear him say it, he's very excited about doing these remakes, and he thinks it's the greatest thing in the world, and the internet is just exploding over it.
He's also on his way out. We already know he'll be retiring soon as the CEO of Disney, so maybe he's pulling an Eisner, not Eisner, was it Michael? What's his name? Michael Eisner?
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, Michael Jordan. Yeah, he's just gonna hang up in the rafters. Which is whatever. Let me make as much money as I can before I bounce.
It's possible. That's 100% possible, but I don't know. We'll get there. We'll totally get there. We might even also.
How dare you tease that? I want to know now.
We also might potentially get a visit from Kanye.
Kanyeezy.
My nephew Anthony is back living with me again, but he's moving out tomorrow. Actually, he got a new job.
Oh wow.
Yo, please applause. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that man needs an applause as he gets out of my house.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, it's not been very bad, but which is strange. But anyway,
for you to say. Actually.
He got a new job in the video games industry again, and so he's out here, and we've been talking about revitalizing sabers and superpowers.
That's cool.
And he has some really good ideas, and I mentioned this before when he first moved out to Austin that we were going to do that, but he just couldn't figure it out. There's a lot of stuff going on where his work was really busy, and he just didn't have the time to sit and to devote to it. But now, since everybody's here in good old Cali, expensive. Yeah.
Surprised that he actually made it back to Cali from Texas. It doesn't normally happen.
Right.
But I also think, and I'm just spitballing here.
Yep.
The best way to ensure that we get more sabers and superpowers is probably for him to continue living here, so he has accessibility.
Yeah, you can dry that spitball right up.
You can swallow it right now.
Yeah, spit it at the clock in the classroom and just let it dry. And that's what you can do
with that.
Well, he's working in Redwood City. So this fool had to already commute. Today it took him 3 hours to get home.
That is stupid.
Hard.
Yeah. So he would like drive home and then drive out there the next day and then sleep in his car at work to avoid coming back, because it's just, you're getting 4 hours of sleep at that point.
Doesn't sound homeless at all. That sounds good.
But anyway, so look forward to that for sure.
I mean, at least he's moving to a really affordable area.
Like Fremont? Yeah.
Jeez. Is that where all the baseball players for the A's live?
I have no idea.
That,
I think it's Fresno.
Fresno?
I don't know.
Frez absolutely not.
Frez 100% not.
Hell.
Yeah, that's literally not happening. For those of you who have not heard Ears Up In Depth, which just released today, unless you're a Patreon supporter, which I put it up 2 days ago, so you get early access as part of being our Patreon people. I heard the first episode, the intro episode to the brand new show, The Supreme Resort, that we are doing on this program with Jeremy from Spectro Radio and Jimmy and Dan. And those are probably two names that mean nothing to anybody except these people in the room, right? So they're just longtime fans of the show. They're longtime listeners. Super nerds.
Uber?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. I think it's copywritten, but yeah, it's
Uber.
Right. The show is cool. It's a
very knowledgeable young gentleman.
There you go.
Yes,
right. Yes, right. It's the show's cool, and I think that there's really nothing like it out there in the podcast space. Mm-hmm. So the intro show, that, like I said, they just kind of did sort of test it out, and then we're going to release it just as an explanation about what's happening. Maybe we'll have them on the show too. We'll have them all call in, sort of, do their little shtick for us to help people introduce. But we're going to drop 3 episodes at once. And then I think it's going to be once a month.
Nice.
That's cool.
And these guys are knowledgeable.
Yeah, they are.
Disney geeks, and of course there's Jeremy. So how do you not want to hear more of that kid?
Well, if you guys want to remember who they are, figure out who they are, go back and listen to the 100th episode. They're the ones who destroyed Jeremy at the music.
That's right. They really did too.
Destroyed him.
I think Jeremy left the game at one point because he was getting beaten so bad.
Yeah, probably.
He just
I don't
ordered
know.
another cocktail and was like, "All right,
It's fine.
Another glass of personality." I love that man.
Yeah,
really.
It's good, man. He does a good job on the show too, and I knew he would. So it's going to be good stuff, and we're really looking forward to that. If you do happen to, why is the camera like always crooked?
it's not."
It is. That's right. If you happen to be listening to this on YouTube, first of all, just go download the podcast. It would help me out. But I fixed the audio stream. I don't know if I talked to anybody about that on this show or it was another show that we did. I have no idea. The audio stream was terrible whenever I had to pull it from YouTube, whenever my recorder would die.
Oh yeah.
I fixed it. I replaced some cables, traced it out, fixed it like an audio boss.
Nice.
So I'm excited about that. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. Before we get to the show, my friend Terrence, go to magiccandlecompany.com/discount/earsup for the juiciest 15% off of any candles or scented items that you could ever purchase. It will take you away to your favorite vacation spot, wherever that may be. They have a scent for it. So check them out, magiccandlecompany.com/discount/earsup. Don't forget to go to that URL, because if you just go to their normal site and you heard about them through us, we don't get a cut of that.
Okay.
And they help us out. It's a little affiliate action going on. So use the URL, please, for the love of God. Also, Christmas is coming up soon in
Candles are
5
great
months or whatever. Yeah, is it 5 months? August, September, October, November, December. 4 months. Damn, boy. So get your Christmas shopping done now. 15% off. Your family doesn't have to know that you're cheap and you cheapened it out. Or whatever.
True story.
Find us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest.
We're back on Pinterest.
If you have any feedback on the show, it goes to Taryn at earsup-podcast.com. Any show suggestions, you can shoot those over to Terrence at earsup-podcast.com. No pun intended, Terrence. You can say hi to Bev.
I missed that.
We were talking. I said shoot over.
Yeah.
'Cause we were talking earlier about
guys
Tupac.
No more. Let's move on.
Okay. Bev at earsup-podcast.com. Anything else comes to me, Jason at earsup-podcast.com. I did get some feedback from a gal, and I wasn't going to talk about it on the last show, which was just Terrence and I, and so it was hard to do. But this lady did not like the way that I treated the rumor guy who just makes stuff up and gets caught and just doesn't go back. Whatever his name is, I forget his name.
The guy from Mice.
Excuse me. No, the other one, the WMTNTNT Turtles or something, whatever it is. I don't know. But apparently, I was really rude. I was mean, and I don't know. Apparently, I was really mean. She goes, "We need to spread more kindness in the world. You were mean." And I'm like, "No, you're right. But the guy is mentally ill and he needs help. And, he's taking advantage of people that I consider friends and fans of Disney. You're taking advantage of that. You're profiting on clickbait. Yeah. You're profiting." She goes, "I don't care. You were just really mean. Maybe you misunderstood my intention. You were mean." And I'm like, "But aren't you being mean to me by calling me mean at the same?" And she didn't really care for that. So, and my signature on my email, it says, "See you in the parks." And she wrote back, "I will not be seeing you in the parks. I have unsubscribed." She's like a 75-year-old lady. I'm like, sorry?
All right, lady.
I don't know. I thought you were just offering feedback. I didn't think you were breaking up with me. So anyway.
That's aggressive.
Yeah, it really was very aggressive for somebody who was really, saying, "I disagree with the way that you called this man mentally ill. Right. We need to be kinder to each other." She was not very kind in her emails to me. So, you know what? Teflon, baby. All rolls right off the back. I don't know. Terrence said she had feedback for me. She can't read it, and
is it on this computer somewhere?
No, she said she was going to email it to me, and she never emailed it to me. So apparently, we do not have feedback.
We'll get to it later when she gets down.
Sure, yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be A-okay. If you want to support this show, go to etsy.com/covears. That's a great way. We have tons of t-shirts and, of course, Covears. Disney-themed t-shirts. I should probably figure out some more designs to do, but, who has time for that? So buy some t-shirts from Covears. But more importantly, patreon.com/earsup. Become a Patreon supporter of this show, please, for as little as $2 a month. But at $5, you get access to the secret show, and then you get stuff in increments thereof above that $5 mark. It would really help us out, and that would be a good thing. If you want to see us at conventions and have some fun giveaway stuff, all of that ability to travel and to do cool stuff comes from our Patreon folks. So if you're a Patreon supporter, thank you very much. You are a winner in my book. And if you're not a Patreon subscriber and you've been listening to the show for a long period of time, I would really appreciate it. Maybe just hop on and see what it's all about. Dude, Patreon people are very, very nice people, and we love them and they love us. Taryn, did you say that you had some feedback for me?
I do.
Oh, okay. You're probably not ready for it right now.
No, if you can give me 30 seconds. I
would love to do that. I don't know what to talk about for 30 seconds, though.
I still can't find the YouTube thing. I don't know what's going on.
Well, don't worry about it. I'm looking at it right now. It says live. I'm seeing myself on it, so don't worry about it. And really, it's just YouTube.
Is anyone in there? Anyone listening? Good.
No.
Good.
And that's all right.
That's good.
All right, Terrence. Well, why don't you let's just go ahead and go with you because I don't know how to fill 25 seconds.
She's up.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Hey, Terrence, do we have any feedback?
Yes, we do.
Oh, that's so weird, dude. I thought we might.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Just kidding.
Are we down again?
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right. We are streaming, right? I'm looking at it live. I don't know why you guys can't find it.
I don't know either.
Now that I'm gonna just edit this now already, we might as well just sit and fart around.
Figure it out.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm looking literally at myself.
No, I'm not saying that you're not.
See, here's me talking.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. That was me.
You sounded beautiful.
Thanks.
Very, very soft.
It says that we're
genteel.
Yeah.
Delicate, even.
Oh, because the privacy is unlisted.
Oh, why?
I don't know.
Oh yeah. By the way, she's.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry about it. Yeah, make it public and all changes saved. So everybody should be getting access to this now. I think if that's how that works. I have no idea, and we'll figure it out.
Hey, live.
Computers are hard.
See, there you go. Yes, interesting category down there. Oh, because I moved it to unlisted when we're doing the test for the new audio thing. So that's what happened. So that's what happened about that.
You did great.
It's all right.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I filed it incorrectly.
Oh, that's too bad. All right. Well, I'll wait for you to get set up. Did you guys do the quiz? You did? Hell yeah! Don't tell me the score. We're gonna do it afterwards during news. But remind me because it's not in my notes anywhere. So I'm counting on all y'all to remind me.
Oh, I will.
I'm very interested to see how I did comparatively. You know what I mean?
I'm guessing better.
Mm.
Or worse.
It's because there's something not real.
Headphone drama, issue drama.
Got it.
Good.
All right. All right, we're all set?
We are.
All right, I'm gonna wait for you to get your feedback situated, and then I'm just gonna ask you about feedback again.
Okay.
Okay. Is your feedback situated?
Yes.
Hey, Terrence, do we have any feedback?
We do.
I thought we might.
All right. This is from Parker.
Parker, can't lose.
Dear Earzup team. Hi, Bev. Top of the morning to you.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, jeez.
Hello.
Oi!
Recently, we drove from Disneyland to Utah and had to pass the time. And to pass the time, we listened to some of your old episodes. First off, we may or may not have gotten into a couple of accidents as you filled us with so much excitement.
Oh, well, you are welcome, and we are not liable, more importantly.
A couple.
Yeah.
A few things we noticed. Jason, your comment on the Japan Light Show episode when Jeremy said, "What do you do when it rains?" You said, "Well, water falls from the sky." And we about died laughing.
Oh, well, he said, what happens when it rains?
Oh.
That was his...
What happens when it rains?
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing they noticed. It was so nice on the older episodes to hear all of you together. Your chemistry is, excuse the cheesy reference, magical.
No.
We know you all have been busy and coordinating schedules is really difficult, but that's something that has been missed for sure.
Agreed.
Whatever happened to Terrence Thinks? That was podcast gold. I bet the listeners would be willing to write in ideas if you need content.
Dude, I was thinking about that not that long ago. I was like, God, I missed that segment.
I ask her like at least twice a month.
I just felt like I felt closer to you on a personal level because I'm like, that's a good question.
Yeah. And then they finish with, why is toilet paper white? Ha 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 ha. Whatever. That was one of my...
I
Gotcha.
remember. That's why that question is why we have pink toilet paper
Yes.
in the cabinet underneath the sink in the bathroom.
So you don't like.
That's right.
And we don't like.
Whatever happened to the Haunted Paradise? Terrence absolutely killed the first verse you played in 2016.
Haunted Paradise.
Oh, that was the Coolio
Yeah.
thing. Yeah,
Did Greg write it?
Yeah, Greg wrote it.
Oh, Lord, help us.
Haunted. Bro, you need to do dad rap. I live here. You have a schedule. I'm basically just trapped here.
I'm gonna work with Greg when he gets back.
Oh my gosh, you guys need to do that. And then, anyway, we love the show. Thank you for enriching our Disney experience with your great content. We'll be repping the churro shirts, going for the churro challenge, and rocking our fanny packs.
Nice.
Parker and Christine, keep your ears up.
Awesome.
Nice.
That's very cool feedback. Thank you very much. Our friend Blobber is in Disney Paris right now with his fanny pack.
Yes, he also needs to realize there's this thing called time zones, and so when he's messaging us at like 4:30 in the morning, I'm like, bro, come on, man. She woke me up before I even had to go up.
Really? You don't have like do not disturb on a timer?
Because
I didn't think about
notifications
it.
on because he's stupid.
I'm not stupid. I didn't
Turned those off
realize.
literally
You're not even in the group.
months ago.
She left the group.
I might have left the group.
You left the group?
Yeah, remember when you said you said bye, Bev, when she left the group and we were messaging about Main Street Fatty Packers.
Because I would walk away. I don't have
Yeah.
notifications on, but it would still pop up on my screen.
I turned notifications off for that specific group.
And I would get like
Yeah, and just look at it.
67 missed messages, and I couldn't
You couldn't
hang.
figure it out.
'Cause
Yeah.
most of them were just emojis of watermelons.
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
Yeah.
God dang it, I hate you guys.
Well, let me tell you something. You're not missed.
No, I'm
So
probably
there.
not, because I never
Didn't even
contributed. I
realize
just
you
read
was
it. No, I just read them, and I was like, I hate you all.
Oh, man.
I do like the watermelon emoji when you hold on it and it gets bigger.
It gets bigger and
pops up.
bigger. Yeah, dude, that's good stuff. What's that, Taryn?
I'm trying to sign language to you because I didn't want to say it out loud. I have a thanks.
Yes, we got to do it. she was sweating.
No, that was the bubble.
I don't even know how to like. She basically did like jazz, like tickle fingers out of the top of her head,
Go moving upward. In
It was the thought bubble.
and she's mouthing it to me. Like, first of all, the microphone's in the way of her mouth, so I had no idea what she's. And she's doing
That
this.
was my problem.
I love it.
Do we have to?
Anyway.
Taryn, do we have a Terrence Thinks today?
Yes. we do, in
That's so
fact.
weird, dude.
Yes.
I find it very unfortunate that I have woken up every single day of my life, and no matter how many times I do it, I cannot get used to it.
Wait, huh?
I am not used to waking up. Are you? Well, actually, you're good at waking up.
I'll get right out of that bed and start playing video games, dude. I don't care.
No matter how
I got
many
bounties
times,
to take care of.
I cannot get used to it. I hate it. Nap time, morning time, I can't get up. I don't like it. I hate it. I've never gotten used to it.
It legitimately takes her like half an hour to
get out of bed?
Yeah. Trust me, dude. It's annoying.
I have 2 alarms set.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. I do too.
You're one of those.
I can't. Otherwise, one
I am
is
too.
very quiet, just so I know what time it is. And I'm like, okay, I've got a half hour. And then the next one goes. And then that's when I'm like, oh, no, that's the real one.
Does it really help to let yourself know you have a half an hour to think
No.
that you have a half an
No.
hour to
No,
sleep?
but she does it anyways.
Bro, because that's what Becca does. Like, she'll snooze for like an hour and a half. I'm like, why don't you just set
See,
your timer for an hour and a half later?
I'm not that person. I cannot go back to
Neither
sleep.
can
Oh, I can immediately.
As soon as I'm awake, time to go.
Oh, see,
Get up and
yeah.
do something.
No, I will pick up my phone, hit snooze, and be back asleep before my hand.
For real. Yeah.
I don't know,
Okay.
man. I can't imagine being a delicate flower like that.
Right.
Wait, I think
I
it's the
think
other way
you're
around.
the delicate flower.
You are.
You are.
All right. Well, and we got 2 things out of that. One, we got a Terrence Think segment to, satiate everybody's thirst and hunger for it. And then 2, we also got a new piece of ASL sign language for Terrence Thinks. The waving hand out of the thing, mouthing.
That was good.
Yeah. All right, Terrence, are you ready, my friend?
Yeah, this is going to be a thing.
All right, what are we doing? Remind me.
We're talking-
Intro us again, please.
So, number one, does anyone even remember America Sings?
No.
No.
Okay.
I don't think I was even born.
You were.
Oh.
You were.
Well, I don't remember.
All right. So, we're going to start at the beginning.
All right.
America Sings has its roots closely tied to the 1964 World's Fair. Webb was tasked with presenting 4 very vastly, completely different attractions. Number 1 was Ford's Magic Skyway, which eventually led to the Omni Mover that we use all the time. Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, It's a Small World, and a thing called Progress Land. Now, by the way, doing the research for this was amazing. The Lincoln exhibit was absolutely amazing. Mark Davis talked about how visitors wondered how they got an actor to perform all day without taking breaks because the animatronic of Lincoln looked so natural, people thought he was real. And so it was a huge success, and it was a crazy illusion. The issue they ran into is that the Japanese pavilion was right next door, and for some reason they were handing out ball bearings, like as swag. Just handing out ball bearings.
Well, it's all ball bearings these days.
Choking hazard.
Well, I don't. So we're.
I'm sure they weren't even like toddlers.
Just
Here you
saying.
go, Sonny. Or however it was down. Anyway, so they were handing out ball bearings. So people would go to the Japanese pavilion, they grab the ball bearings, and they go next door to Lincoln, and they would start chucking ball bearings at the animatronic, thinking that it was a real person, see if they could mess up Lincoln. Right?
That is 100% on my wave, dude. I would definitely do that.
So eventually they talked to them and asked them to stop handing out ball bearings. Now, Progress Land was sponsored by General Electric, and they wanted Disney to showcase the development of electrical technology. It was a theater where the stage stood still and the audience rotated around the stage. It was like a carousel of progress.
Oh,
if you
geez.
will. Yeah. It was a carousel of progress of lifelike and animated human figures created by Walt Disney, depicting American life from the 1880s to the 1960s. Other highlights of the $17 million three-story Progress Land Pavilion included demonstrations of thermonuclear fission, an all-electric city model, and a fiery story of man's struggle to control nature's energy on the world's largest projection screen. So the entire thing was a sky dome. The top part was a sky dome, and that was the largest projection screen at the time.
Okay.
So inside, there were 6 different sections, all of which centered around a family portrayed by animatronics. And it was a huge success at the World's Fair. Now, the thing that Walt understood that a lot of other people didn't understand is that the World's Fair was a great way for him to do 2 things. Number one, for him to create attractions that would possibly go into his new park. Now remember, the park was only 9 years old at this point. So he was kind of doing a preview, and depending on what people thought, he would say, okay, we can put this in the park. And now the other thing that he was doing was he's figuring out how to actually do this stuff. Right. He was figuring out how to do the technology behind what he was doing, but he was figuring out how to do this technology with using other people's money, because he was getting paid to make this stuff for people. Brilliant idea.
That's
Brilliant
smart.
idea.
Yeah.
So all of the attractions from the World's Fair in some way, shape, or form made their way back into Disneyland. But the Progress Land was actually slated to go into something called Edison Square, which we talked about on the show before. It was going to be behind Main Street, but it didn't come in. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a synopsis of what the show was, of what the Progress Land was turned into the Carousel of Progress was. You follow an audio animatronic family, father, mother, daughter Jane, and her unnamed brother, grandma, grandpa, and of course cousin Orville, for a very entertaining and enlightening spin through time. You enter the 240-seat theater section in the first of its 6 positions, while guests in 5 other sections enjoy other parts. So basically, there are 6 areas that you enter in, and everyone is moving at the same time. So you can have 1,440 people basically in the theater at any given time.
Gosh. Okay.
That's crazy.
That's
right?
crazy. Yeah.
That's crazy. So you would watch the show. You would, at the end of the show, you would take the speed ramp to Progress City, which was on the top floor. The second floor was only the 2 floors for this. Go up to the ramp to the 6,900 square foot model of Walt Disney's vision of the city of tomorrow, or Epcot, and be able to see it in there. So it's really strange when you look at the original show going from 1880s to 1960s. There's things where father, as he's called, father, and he calls his wife mother, which has always been weird to me, right? So
We're gonna start doing that.
That's true.
So Act 1. Just listen. So Act 1. We really don't do that. Act 1, mother says,
Father, can you hear me?
Fasha, can you hear me?
Is that that Greek yogurt, Faja?
Best movie ever. Literally my favorite movie.
Well, I don't know.
Goldmember is your favorite movie ever?
Yeah.
Top 5 for sure.
And you guys
really can't even knock you.
And you guys made fun of me for loving the Love Guru.
It's terrible. Goldmember is hilarious.
I actually thought she was talking about Yoder or whatever that movie's called, the one from the original song.
Yoder?
It's not called Yoder.
With Barbra Streisand.
Daddy, can we go see Star Wars? I want to see that Yoda character. He's great. He's the best character. It's like the episode of the Squidbillies.
God.
Daddy, I want to go see the Yoda.
Isn't that Yentl?
And Large Ski Locker.
Oh, man. I don't know. I'm not going to look it up. I'll let you.
Sure, Yentl.
Anyway.
Lentil.
Sorry.
It's a soup. It's a movie about soup.
Huge tangent.
All right, so later can you hear me? So mother
It's too hard for me to eat.
waiter, can you hear me?
I need some ice cream. I want to speak to the manager. My name is Karen.
Oh, man. So mother says, with my new, this is just before the 1900s, but with my new wash day marvel, it takes only 5 hours to do the wash. Imagine. And the father comes in. That's right, folks. Now mother has time for recreations like canning and polishing the stove. And so stuff like that. I'm like, oh boy. So they brought the
I'd love a polished stove, to be honest.
I have never polished my stove.
No, neither have I,
stainless steel.
I would love to.
So, like I said, Edison Square was to be an urban residential neighborhood adjacent to the commercial Main Street, USA. It was right behind Plaza Inn, which was Swiss Red Wagon Inn at that point, between Main Street and Tomorrowland. So, guests would walk from theater to theater inside of a horseshoe-shaped structure to experience American home pre-electricity, American home, the advent of electricity, contemporary living, and the electronic age. But Edison Square was never built. So what they did instead is they built an area in Tomorrowland, and it was a two-story theater that rotated, and they brought what they did, which was it was arguably the besides Lincoln, it was the most popular thing at the 64 World's Fair. They brought it into Tomorrowland and set it up. So this Carousel of Progress show ran from 1967 until 1973. Now, in 1973, GE started realizing that it was outdated since, the last scene of the show was 1967 and now you're in 73. It's outdated. It didn't have a lot of repeat guests. And the other issue they had was that the song for it, There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow, was not encouraging people to go out and buy great big beautiful things today. So they slated the Sherman Brothers to write a new song, and they wrote a song basically. I didn't pull the audio for it, but I listened to it. It was basically go out and buy a lot of stuff today or something like that, like horrible. And they said that it was the worst song that they ever wrote. They're absolutely ashamed of it. Whenever they would talk about bad songs, that was the example they would say about bad songs. So they said, so GE said, look, you're building a new park in Florida. We want you to take the show, move it to Florida. A lot of people in Florida have never seen this. We'll get a lot more people visiting it. So they moved it to Florida. So now you have a 2-story carousel building that is completely empty. There's nothing to go in there. So the bicentennial was approaching quickly, and Disney wanted to do something patriotic to celebrate it. The bicentennial, by the way, is 1970, 200 years. Just making sure for everyone listening. Because when I looked at it, I was like, yeah, it was.
I didn't catch that, but I'm.
I was like, I know. No, you're not that you're dumb, because I had to look it up as well. I was like, oh, bicentennial. Oh, yeah,
I honestly was like, oh, okay, 20 years of Disneyland. Cool.
Yeah, whenever I go to the gym, it's always the biceptennial. Because I do 200 curls.
When's the last time you went to the gym?
1984. Because my dog ran in there and I had to go get it out. But I did 200 curls. My biceptennial.
So the bicentennial was fast approaching, and Disney wanted to do something patriotic to celebrate. Also, there had been a movie in development called Chanticleer, based on a pre-World War I play of the same name, and Disney had ideas that had been shelved. They just never made the movie.
Yeah.
So
Santa Claus, by the way.
Sorry, my bad. So the movie was set on a Parisian farm in the late 1800s, much like the play. It was to be a story about a vain rooster whose leadership the other barnyard animals had accepted because they all truly believed that his crowing was what brought the sun up every morning. Although a ruthless band of night creatures, moles, bats, vultures, headed by a vicious fox named Reynard, were planning to seize the animals on the farm for their dinner. Under the guise of a traveling circus, they came to the farm and performed for the animals, causing them to lose faith in Chanticleer, who was the rooster, and want Reynard to lead them instead. Elsewhere, a beautiful pheasant who was new to the farm, was constantly been trying to get Chanticleer to notice her, but all of her attempts had failed. So Reynard was hoping that her beauty would distract Chanticleer so that the rooster couldn't ruin his plan. Offered to give her a makeover. However, the Chanticleer was to have eventually realized what the fox was up to, at which point the rooster was to have dueled one of Reynard's henchmen, a Spanish fighting rooster known as Senor Poco Loco, during which time the sun would have risen without Chanticleer crowing.
I'm sorry, would that also be known as El Pollo Loco?
Yes.
Saying B took off.
Right.
I love that change so much.
So that was the movie. The movie was basically about a rooster fooling all of his friends.
I want to see it.
But they never made it.
Yeah, which is disappointing.
But they had tons of drawings, they had tons of ideas, and all of it was shelved. Now, that idea of a movie that isn't patriotic at all.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Not even the word. Not even the name.
Right. But Mark Davis, he took some of the characters and set ideas from the movie and he used them for this new attraction that they wanted to do that was going to be something patriotic. The show would be a history of American music from jazz to blues to rock and roll. The show was created and it was 2 stories. The lower story housed the show itself that would rotate around the stage every 4 minutes. The top story, which had normally when Carousel of Progress was there, it housed a large model of Progress City. It now was basically empty. No one was going up there at all. Eventually, the second story became the super speedway tunnel for the People Mover, and then it became the World of Tron as well. So but they were trying to figure out before they did, they're like, what do we do up here? So they had the idea of having the second story as a UFO show. It was an attraction where guests would travel through an alien-like planet while in a vehicle equipped with an air gun, and aliens would pop up and you would shoot at them.
Hell yeah, dude.
America.
Buzz Lightyear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what it turned into, was Buzz Lightyear.
I love that. That's what they should be doing.
It's a good idea.
It's a great idea. But like super retro, because retro is very in.
Yes.
With the air gun, the pop stuff, like that is cool.
Yeah.
I would ride that.
It would have been great. I
mean, look how popular Shooting Gallery still is.
Yeah, I love that Shooting Gallery, by the way.
Same.
So they created this show based around music, the history of American music. The attraction was packed with 100 plus animatronics, the total story of the history of our country's music through the years. The story was primarily written by Mark Davis and Al Pacino.
Al
Pacino, yes. That's why
this is awesome. Al Pacino and Santa Claus?
Yes.
I love this story.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Ever.
Yeah.
Great carousel! So the show is a lot like Country Bear Jamboree in as much as it's animatronic animals telling the story. The main characters were a bald eagle named Sam, voiced by Burl Ives, who was also the snowman from Rudolph, and an owl named Ollie, voiced by Sam Edwards. The show was held together by a slightly different version of Yankee Doodle Dandy. Now, Mark Davis changed the lyrics to this song, but he changed the lyrics and slowed the song down so much that he actually registered himself as a songwriter so he can get royalties from this. Damn. So he had to fill out paperwork regarding all the royalties, and he actually did get one single check for royalties, and the check was for 97 cents. Was all he ever made off of this song.
Aww.
Why?
Because it was licensed through Disney, and so he wasn't going to get royalties from Disney as a Disney employee. So he got 97 cents for creating this song.
Bummer.
Yeah. So, like I said, Sam and Ollie were the narrators who take you from scene to scene into different styles of music. Imagineering had learned a lot from the creation of the Tiki Room. There were a lot of animals in this, but especially a lot of birds. And the biggest takeaway they learned from the Tiki Room is it sucks to feather characters. Absolutely sucks to feather characters because of dust, because of dirt, because of feathers accidentally falling out. So it's time-consuming, but it's difficult to replace the feathers that go missing. So while they had a brilliant idea to make all the birds in the attraction have fur. So if they did basically what they did with the Country Bear Jamboree, they would put a couple of feathers everywhere just to give you the idea of feathers, the appearance of feathers. But all the birds actually had fur, and then they would cut into the fur diagonally to give it the look of feathers laying. So you never had to replace it.
So it's creative. It's kind of lazy, but it's really creative.
It's very lazy, but it's extremely creative at the same time. So Mark Davis headed up the show, and it was the first show. It was the first show in Disneyland that was created from development to finish with no help at all from Walt. No input at all. This was the first one. This was the first one. So Mark poured over countless sheets of music to find just the right combination of songs for the show. The show was then constructed in the round on 2 sound stages in Glendale. So Mark Davis and Al Pacino would look at each working scene on the soundstage. If there were tweaks to be made, the tweaks would be made right then. If the scene was perfect, then everything would be bubble wrapped and shipped from Glendale down to Disneyland to be shoehorned into this Carousel Theater. So a cast of 114 total animal characters would fill this these 114 characters would be able to fill like the Met or some huge opera thing. They would take over the entire stage, but they had to figure a way to fit these into 6 little stages. So they figured it out, got everything down there, and on June 29th... Just
because there were so many?
There were so many.
And they're larger, so it's big?
They're larger. There's a lot more scenery as well because you have to make every scene look like it's, you're actually in that era as well.
Got it.
Figured it out. June 29th, 1974, the show opened. And so I'm going to take you through some of the things. The first act in the show was for the loading of guests, and the songs were, first of all, Yankee Doodle, track number 1. I sound like Jeremy.
Exactly like Jeremy.
Sometimes it just spoke of love, like I dream of Jeannie with light brown hair.
Ooh, very nice. But frankly, I prefer all around the cobbler's bench. The monkey chased the weasel. The monkey thought 'twas all in fun. Go the weasel.
So every scene ended with this weird animal. I forgot. I think it was a weasel actually popping out and singing "Pop Goes the Weasel." So every scene ended.
Why?
It's terrible. Because
that's good enough for me.
Because the first scene was the loading of guests. Act 2 was the Deep South. They played Dixie,
some trap.
They played some trap, some Outcast. So Dixie, My Old Kentucky Home, Polly Wally Doodle. Then there was a scene of a possum with her babies singing this song, track number 2.
When I was single, dress up so fine. Now I'm married, go ragged all the time. Lord, I wish I was a single girl again.
Same.
Bruh. So she was there surrounded by her babies, husband nowhere to be found, singing I Wish I Was a Single Girl.
Very uplifting and
very patriotic.
Yeah, right. Has everything to do with the bicentennial.
And so then they had Down in the Valley, and then they had Down by the Riverside. As Alice Davis called it, it was their spiritual. Track number 3. So it looked like a stereotypical, if you will, black choir, right? Like the
Black Southern Church or whatever,
right, big-breasted hens and going crazy and all of that.
Hell yeah!
So that was the Deep South.
I love that. I honestly love that aesthetic. I really do.
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So then you would start rotating as that was going. You would go into the next scene, which would be heading west. You would hear Drill Ye Terriers Drill, and I've been working on the railroad. Old Chrism Trail. And then you're going to hear something right now that you will never hear anywhere else, because unless you have the vinyl that was given out on press day, you will never hear this song. I had to dig and dig and dig to find this. It is a song called Who Shot the Hole in My Sombrero? Now, the problem that they had was that when they handed out the press record, and for the first couple of weeks that they were playing it, the person that sang it had a really stereotypical Mexican accent, and the press went crazy and called them racist.
Really? In the 60s they got called that for that?
No, 73. Crazy racist.
I still feel like it's very woke for 73.
I think so, too.
Considering how nothing really changed in the 70s or the 80s or even really the 90s about the stereotypical, like...
Yeah. So track 4 and then track 5. You'll hear the difference between the old one and the new one.
When are they playing Born in East LA? That's... I was... I'm sorry.
shot the hole in my sombrero.
Jiminy Christmas.
Put the bullet through the head.
Through the hat.
Oh, shot the hole in my sombrero. Who would do a terrible thing like that? Was it Pancho from the rancho? Did he do this because I kissed his wife?
All right, so they went. Yeah, I know, dude.
Honestly, it's funny.
I think it's really stupid. They went back and changed it to a guy that had more of a stereotypical country voice. Track 5.
Okay, I'm surprised no one got mad because then that's just the Cowboys infiltrating Mexico.
Yeah, it almost seems worse.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Who shot that hole in my sombrero?
Yeah, because he would not have it.
Bullet through my Hyatt.
My Hyatt.
Who shot that hole in my sombrero?
Yeah.
No.
Honestly, I would hear that and go, the Hyatt.
The Hyatt.
He's staying at the Hyatt?
Who shot
It was way better the other way.
Who shut up the Hyatt?
You're right. So you
That's Trap.
Exactly. So you then hear the end of Billy the Kid and Home on the Range. And as you're hearing Home on the Range and Sam and Ollie are talking to you, you rotate to the next one, which is the Gay 90s. So you would then hear She May Be Somebody's Mother, The Bowery, and After the Ball, Down in the License Saloon, Won't You Come Home, Bill Bailey, Sweet Adeline, The Old Gray Mare, Only a Bird in a Gilded Cage, and Ta-ra-rum-boom-de-ay, Ta-ra-rum-boom-de-ay. And as that's playing, you would then rotate to the fifth room, which is the modern times, which was the 70s. You would hear Singing in the Rain, which is weird.
Okay.
A Tisket, a Tasket, Beat Me Daddy, 8 to the Bar.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, just move on. You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog, Shake, Rattle, and Roll, Twisted USA, and then Joy to the World.
Huh.
That's the most recent one of the ones that you like.
Yeah, it's weird. This was
because the other ones are not modern for the 70s.
So they had a
Joy to the World modern?
It's not modern at all, but none of these are really modern to the 70s.
Yeah.
So they had a hound.
What were you thinking of?
I was thinking of that song that has
We Are the World?
Yeah, We Are the World.
That's
I was
80s.
thinking that.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson animatronic up there. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. But we're gonna stop on that one too. So they had a hound dog. If you watch, okay, so go and watch the video on YouTube.
Okay.
Once.
All right.
You don't need to see it twice. Just once.
It doesn't honestly sound very intriguing.
Just once, but it feels. The whole thing feels very much like Chuck E. Cheese. Like it's weird. Like just the animatronics and the music, and then like they have nothing but a hound dog dressed up like Elvis singing it.
No, it's really on the nose.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really cheesy. So as Joy to the World, for some reason, is playing, you rotate to the last room, and then you hear a medley that will take you out. Let's track number 6.
Yankee Doodle always says the past is just the start. Tomorrow will bring songs to you that come straight from the heart. Another thing he had to say, life is just a song. So everybody get in tune and let's all sing along. Should old acquaintance be forgotten and never brought to mind?
That's stupid. I don't even want to hear the whole thing. So I'm offended by that.
So they would go into Auld Lang Syne, and then it would end with Stars and Stripes as you're walking out for some reason. Then when they and then Bye says Bye goes the weasel, and that's how it ends.
Today's show is brought to you by Toyota.
So then you would walk out of the theater and
go, what the hell was that?
Yeah. And then immediately go back and wait in line to do it all over again.
So it was weird. So
the acid hadn't yet worn off.
Because you're still.
So when they released the album, they added a couple of songs at the end of the album. They added Feed the Birds and Let's Go Fly a Kite. For some reason, so you can understand, you can see how everything is kind of hodgepodge. It's supposed to be a celebration of America, and the only thing that's really American about it is the fact that the eagle has an American flag crest. That's really
that sounds terrible.
So it was a terrible idea. It was a terrible ride. And then 9 days after it opened, tragedy struck. We talk about this before. Anytime we talk about Disneyland deaths. So 18-year-old hostess Deborah Gale Stone was accidentally crushed to death between two walls of the building between 10:35 and 10:40 p.m. A narrow channel between a stationary wall was open, and Stone either fell, stepped backwards, or tried to jump from one stage to the other as the rotating wall began to move, and she got crushed. And people there thought that her screams of agony were just part of the show, which totally makes sense. Your blood curdling scream. Da, 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 da. So a couple of things about this which are really strange. Number one, Chill Wills, who was the voice of the turkey from this, from the time they started building the ride, he refused to go into the theater because he thought that he would be tragically killed for some reason in the theater.
Okay.
This led him to leave the cast before the attraction even opened. So he kind of said, someone's going to die in here. Now, the other thing is that Mark Davis, as they were designing it, he lowered the floor, I think, about 1.5 feet. And when he heard about the murder, he always blamed himself. He said, I don't know why, but it must have been my fault for lowering the floor. Now,
you mean the death, not the murder?
Yeah.
The death. That's not the murder. That's a different story.
That's a different conversation.
It runs in Terrence's blood.
Easy. But Alice Davis, famous Alice Davis, Mark's wife, has a completely different story. She said in an interview that Debbie was known to mess around and not stay on the chair like she was supposed to. In fact, Debbie was known to lean back as long as she could before moving to avoid hitting the wall.
Ooh.
And so Alice is saying it was her fault.
Right.
So Debbie's family tried to sue the park, and there were people who said, no, we witnessed her messing around a lot of times, and they lost the lawsuit because of that. They said it was negligence. Right? It was stupidity on her fault.
Man.
Now, the show ran for about 14 years, but America's
Really?
That's what I'm saying. So it closed permanently in '88. And I remember going on this ride several times. I really do remember this ride. I remember it being terrible, but I was young and I was scared of the Haunted Mansion still, so I had to go on this, right?
It closed before I ever went to Disneyland.
Wow.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
America sings. It sounds just dumb.
It was dumb. We're coming to the end, and then we'll talk about how dumb it is. So it ran for almost 14 years, but it closed in April of '88. Now, not only did the carousel now sit empty, but Mission to Mars, which was in the same corner in Tomorrowland, closed in '92. Then the Skyway to Fantasyland from Tomorrowland closed in '94. So that entire corner of Tomorrowland was basically shuttered. Jeez. Now, eventually, Interventions and then Star Wars Launch Bay took over, but there was still
good thing they brought Interventions in.
And eventually,
but the question always came back to why did the attraction close? Now,
have you seen it? There you go.
It had poor attendance, and once again, you don't have a repeat thing. So you have something that you're celebrating for the bicentennial, but you're 12 years removed from the bicentennial. Number one, nobody wants to go there for that. Number two, Disneyland Paris tanked, and they were in a budget crunch, and they were trying to design a new ride based on everyone's favorite movie, Song of the South. So, in order to save money, what they decided to do is take the animatronics from this attraction that no one goes to anymore, take all of those animatronics, and figure out a way to throw them into this ride. Now, 2 of the animatronics were already gone from American Scenes at this point. There were 2 geese that were gone, which were skinned. That sounds really bad, but skinned, and then they were the baggage checkers on Star Tours.
Oh, right.
But the rest of the animatronics got thrown into Splash Mountain. If they fit, that was fine. You put them in there. If they don't fit, let's put them on a showboat at the end. So there's if you go through it right now. The alligators that you see singing and playing in one scene of Splash Mountain were actually alligators that were in the ride. The mama possum that's warning the mama rabbit that's talking when you're going up the hill, that was actually the mama possum and her babies. They just reskinned her to look like a rabbit. So Sam the eagle is now one of the Brer Foxes, and Ollie is one of the Brer Rabbits when Fox has rabbit by the ears and the honey. So everything that was in that was taken out and thrown into Splash Mountain, and America Sings was forgotten forever. Now, one last thing. I don't know how we got this information,
Right.
But people often wonder, how did they make the carousel turn like that?
Mm-hmm.
Someone went underneath the carousel.
Right.
And when they went underneath the carousel, they saw that the carousel sat on one huge circular train track.
Railroad track. Yeah.
And it just rotated on that. So
on a big wheel.
That's
so
awesome.
that is the history of America Stinks.
Wow.
Sings.
Good job, Terrence.
Good job.
America thinks.
America thinks. That it sound, and it's funny because I know nothing about that ride, but you sort of hear people talk about it with reverence, and I wonder if it's even if it's ironically reverent about it, or or is that how we're going to talk about the Country Bears?
I don't
I
think
talk
so.
about Country Bears with rep. Country Bears are great.
It's for sure. I mean, when we went in Disney World, which I like throwing in your face for some reason, I had a lot of fun. I thought it was great. I don't know why nobody wants to go to that dumb ride, but it's cool. This sounds awful.
It sounds like a dumpster fire.
It sounds, even if it looked cool, it sounds annoying with the weasel and stuff. No, I'm not trying to do that. It just sounds grating and not fun.
This ride is a lot like the People Mover is to me. When I look back at it, I remember it fondly.
Okay. You remember this ride fondly.
Yeah, and then you watch videos of this for the People Mover, and you're like, that sucked. And that's basically how it is. If you watch the video on YouTube, it's
I'm going to.
horrible. Like it's not good.
Yeah.
It's not entertaining, but it was a thing to do at Disneyland.
I mean, I agree with that sentiment. Like with the People Mover at Disney World, like I was really excited to go on it, and it sucks, but you still kind of like it.
Right.
Yeah, you kind of like it, and I think the part that sucked about it was it's not moving fast enough to beat the humidity. So you're kind of just swampy for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just called Florida, though.
Truth. All right, Terrence, good job, dude.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's do some news.
A lot of information about something I never want to see.
March in the past, present, and future with all the news that's fit to cover. It's the Earzup Disney News.
All right, dude, you guys, we got to get into this. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. Let's see, should I break your hearts first?
Yes.
Or really, you just want to pull the Band-Aid off?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No one else is saying anything. No one else is countering that.
I mean, I'd like to hear the worst. I'm always like, good news.
You wanna hear the worst?
Yeah,
Bad news first.
All right. Bad news first. Here we
I
go.
look forward to.
Yesterday, well, not yesterday, but this week, Disney CEO Bob Iger revealed the studio already has plans to remake several movies from the Fox umbrella, because now they've acquired Fox.
Oh, what?
Yes, and they are going to be direct to Disney Plus rather than going into the big screen.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
I kind of want to ask, but you're never going to guess these movies in a million years. So I'll just tell you. The Walt Disney Company held its regular quarterly conference call for investors, and Bob Iger revealed that Disney is already looking at ways to leverage the various film properties it now owns following the Fox merger. As part of that, the studio is planning to reimagine. Reimagine.
Here we go.
Home Alone.
What?
Sorry. They already reimagined it as Home Alone 3.
And
Like,
2
it doesn't need to
and
be-
4.
Yes.
There was a
Was there
three?
a fourth one?
Yeah.
I did not know there was a 4.
I didn't know there was a third.
Anyway, no.
Cheaper by the dozen.
I never saw that.
You know,
I actually like
I
that
saw that.
movie.
I like that movie. Steve
Martin, yeah.
Yeah, no, that was,
Night at the Museum.
It's
I've never seen it.
fine. Those garbage.
That's recent movie.
And Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
I didn't see that.
Those two are like recent.
Yeah.
Among
Weird.
I really liked Night at the Museum. I've actually seen all of the sequels.
How many are there?
I think there are 3. It was Robin Williams' last film.
Oh, sad.
So this article is actually calling out the use of the word reimagining rather than remaking. So it could just be the way like the female Ghostbusters was sort of reimagined. It's not a sequel. It's not a remake.
Oh, you
It's
mean
just an
trash.
extra thing.
Yeah, right. You said garbage.
Yeah.
So Kevin's gonna be a girl.
So they're not looking at potentially. So
it should be Macaulay Culkin now.
Well, so if you don't follow Macaulay Culkin on like Instagram,
I do.
He's a good follow. I just started following. He's a good follow.
I would have wanted Macaulay Culkin from like 10, 15 years ago, and someone's breaking in his house. He's on a bender. He doesn't even wake up.
Well, he put out a photo of him. He goes, "This is what the Home Alone remake would be if I was in it." And it was like him in his boxer shorts and a T-shirt with a laptop, eating like food,
Nice.
just sitting in front of a laptop. And so people online are actually very angry that they're messing with Home Alone. Now,
I mean, honestly, like that's the one that I'm the most angry about.
Yeah.
For sure. Home Alone was fine. Macaulay Culkin's a terrible actor as a little kid.
Whatever.
But as a little kid, he did fine.
But Joe Pesci and
the entire movie like should not be touched, and people are very, very upset. And a lot of people are saying kind of what we just said here. There's 3 other movies that nobody pays attention to that are already reimagined Home Alones. What are you going to do about that? Also, prayers for the writing team that has to figure out in the day of cell phones, the internet, and Uber, how this kid has to stay home.
Oh, that's true. Very good point.
I would not want to be on that writing team. There's no way.
Abandoned on a desert island, family cruise, and he gets left behind.
Yeah. Anyway, so Iger's very excited about doing these kind of things, and I don't understand why. I literally have no clue.
Yeah.
It's called money.
Well, yeah. Anyway, so he says, we're focused on leveraging Fox's vast library of great titles to further enrich the content mix on our platforms for a new generation.
Heaven forbid you come up with an original idea.
Well, I'll get to you in a second.
Crap.
No problem. I agree. But what is this thing about a new generation? What is wrong about reintroducing classics to the new generation?
Yeah.
It's okay. Do we need to remake every movie every 20 years? Then there's no original content. You could reimagine it. So what? You have a Tesla instead of a van, and then that's reimagining. It makes
There's
no sense.
more ideas is the problem. They have to reimagine. They're out of ideas.
Well, they're already going. So it's a lot like the Disney remakes now. They're making $1 billion, but the reviews are kind of horrible. Bad. I mean, go ahead.
So I'm wondering. So I remember when Disney like the Little Mermaid 2 and things like that straight to video,
right.
And you didn't have people up in a roar. People weren't getting too upset because of that. So it makes sense that they would put it straight to their streaming service. But how do you monetize that? Like, if you really are trying to make money off of this, you're not charging any additional money to watch the movie.
No.
And someone already subscribed. So how do you really monetize it?
Well, it's just like Netflix.
But but I don't think. But with
the same thing
with Netflix and Hulu and things of that nature, people are subscribing because they want to watch specific things. They want to watch specific things that are only available that way.
Yes, and I think Home Alone, the reimagine of Home Alone, literally nobody will ever be interested in.
So you
but it's filler. You don't have to. You can't monetize it. It's already monetized when you put it on the service.
Right.
People are going to subscribe. I'm subscribing to the service for not Terrence, me personally. It's on my hidden debit card. For The Simpsons and some of the movies in the library. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
So they're just putting out content, and you've seen the list of all the shows.
Yeah.
Most of that is hot flaming garbage. It sounds completely terrible. It sounds terrible. It sounds like America Sings.
Dumpster fire.
Right. Well, like Dubster fire, and then it's a reggae. Anyway, and so there's no monetizing it. It's just they're doing it to have something new and fresh online, even though it's not new and fresh, and it's going to stink.
Well, that's for original movies that they can say that they have.
Right.
You know, that's what people are looking for at this point, is original content.
So are they going to be under the Fox umbrella then, or are they going to be Fox?
No,
or are they
Disney
now.
Yeah, Fox owns Disney in part because to have access to that catalog.
Marge Simpson's a Disney princess now. It is what it is.
I wish Beavis and Butthead was Fox.
Oh my God, that would never happen.
That'd be cool though.
Sure.
I'm just saying.
Disney says, this is another article, but very related to Disney Plus. Disney is set to release its own streaming service, Disney Plus, on November 12th, and on the same day, it will offer a deal bundling Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and Hulu.
I already have the other two. I'll bundle that one with it.
You have ESPN Plus?
I do.
Why?
For a lot of live sports that you can't watch without it. There's a lot of EPL stuff on there.
Like
there's
professional cornhole.
What's EPL?
English Premier League.
Is there really?
Yeah, there's a lot of EPL stuff on Plus. Like every Sunday, there's a ton of.
The price. Guess who's getting it? Have you seen the price for this?
For the bundle?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I've seen the price. So
You've seen the price for the bundle? Have you seen?
No.
How much would you guys think? Unless you've seen it, don't tell me. But
I pay $11 a month for Hulu, so
ad free.
It's like
Okay, this is the non-ad free of Hulu.
I'm gonna say it's $39 for all three.
$12.99
for all three.
Yeah.
I might do that.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, you kind of
it's a good deal.
It is.
It's the same price as the Netflix standard plan.
Yeah.
According to Disney CEO Bob Iger, the fact that the two companies landed on the same price is a coincidence.
Oh, I'm sure.
I know there's a lot that's been speculated about us going after them, Iger said in an interview. We're not. We're looking to occupy space. That's a growth opportunity for the company and a growth in terms of consumption. We've always believed there's plenty of room for both of us to thrive in this marketplace. Iger said the goal for launching Disney Plus service is to quickly get the number of subscribers as large as possible. Basically, sign up as many subs as possible and get them into the service and get them a chance to enjoy the great intellectual property and product that will be a part of that service, Bob Iger said. We thought this bundle was a great step in achieving that goal. If purchased separately, Disney Plus will cost $6.99 a month, Hulu costs $5.99 a month, and ESPN $4.99 a month. That's $17.97 total.
Math.
Right. Iger added that although the bundle may cost significantly less than if someone were subscribed to all three services, it's not that $5 is not significant, but whatever. There are hidden economic benefits to Disney because the Hulu subscription included in the bundle is ad supported, giving Disney another source of revenue. He says if this bundle serves to grow Hulu subscribers more aggressively, that will be very valuable on the advertising side.
Speaking of hot flaming trash, I pay for Hulu and it's kind of garbage. Their interface is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a very good selection.
No, they don't.
Good luck with that, Disney.
Well, and you pay $12
I pay $12 for no ads for something that I don't watch.
You could pay $6.
I got The Handmaid's Tale. I gotta watch that though.
Yeah, but just watch an ad. It's free. Well, not free, but
their ads are annoying.
Well, that's good to know. Anyway, so that's the Disney Plus side, and that's the heartbreak of reimagining. Can you imagine?
That was pretty heartbreaking, actually.
Reimagining. And so Macaulay Culkin's like, hey, hit me up. I will star in this. I will do whatever, dude. Which I like. I think that's you gotta get out there. Here's a cool thing. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge has a super awesome secret Easter egg.
Oh.
You know what I'm trying to say? Blah, blah, blah. Where do we start? One of the more impressive and mind-blowing locations at Black Spire is Doc Ondar's Den of Antiquities, the place we didn't go, Taryn. It has everything from super cool metal lightsabers, whatever. But anyway, there's a balcony with just a bunch of collectible stuff up there, and some guy online basically spotted what looks to be the Ark of the Covenant from Indiana Jones.
Oh, that's
really
cool.
Yeah, and so the theory is like it just was pulled from the Great Movie Ride when that closed, and was brought over to Disneyland, and maybe even like cut in half, so then the Galaxy's Edge in Florida can have half of it too. And supposedly it moves around a little bit. It's very hard to see, because at first I saw this and I saw that photo and I was like, there's no way, this is stupid. And then you look at the screen image from it and it's like, oh no, it's the Ark of the Covenant. So that's kind of cool. I thought it was some pretty good some good content for us to talk about.
Nice.
Speaking of Galaxy's Edge, Disney discouraged Star Wars fans from visiting its new Galaxy's Edge area, and domestic park visits and profits dropped.
Yep.
I mean,
everybody was talking about how it was a ghost town.
Yeah.
I think it still is.
Yeah, it's coming back, apparently. Bob Iger says, this is a lot of Bob Iger news, helped in part by some of our efforts. There was a tremendous concern in the marketplace that there was going to be huge crowding when we opened Galaxy's Edge. Some people stayed away just because they expected that it would not be a great experience. Other forces played a role too. Disney hiked the cost of a one-day ticket substantially. compared to a year ago, Iger said. Local hotels, anticipating a rush of visitors, also raised their room rates, pricing some people out of staying in the area. Moreover, the company opened Galaxy's Edge with one ride, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. Fans may be postponing their visits until a second ride, Rise of the Resistance, opens in January. All of those factors contributed to attendance that was below what we would have hoped it would be, Iger said. Coupled with higher costs tied to Galaxy's Edge, the upshot was a decline in operating income from domestic parks and resorts. Here's where it gets interesting. The drop in domestic park attendance was driven by fewer visits from annual pass holders, while paid visits increased. And the average spending per guest jumped 10%.
Wow. For sure for us.
Reflecting steeper ticket prices and higher food and beverage and merchandise sales. Everything is more expensive there. Plus, you're going to Galaxy's Edge, you're not going to drop anything less than $2, dude. They're just not going to happen.
I'm really surprised in that article that he said that they raised prices significantly. Like, he said all that stuff. That usually they're like very flowery language.
Yeah, significantly. Well, he's talking to the investors, and so there's a different, you know what I mean? He wants to make sure that we, as investors, know. Hold on. Excuse me. I like how I muted the microphone, even though you probably heard him. Anyway, so we know that they're all about making money. Occupancy rates at Disney's domestic hotels also climbed from 86 to 88%, and spending per room rose 3%. Moreover, guest satisfaction and interest in Galaxy's Edge attractions remains extremely high, and they rank, quote, among the most popular things at the park. It's just going to take some time for things to work themselves out in terms of how the marketplace is reacting. Whatever that means.
That means they're saying it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
We'll start making money again.
Which also, like, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I'm not overly concerned about it. There was a quote about, well, I mean, I guess I sort of just said it, but I read it in a different way, so I thought it was a different quote. But I thought it was really interesting. Attendance is down, but profits are up. Because people are spending more, and that's what they want to do. They're gonna jack the prices on the annual pass holders. They want to get rid of annual pass holders. They want to reduce all that and get people paying to get in that park, especially with that sliding scale that they got now. People are gonna be paying more, and it's already working. That's why stuff's up 10%, but attendance is down 3%.
Yep.
And that's what we've all complained about. Figure out a way to make it lighter crowds. This is, unfortunately, you have to pay for that, and it's annoying. Speaking of annoying, Disney is about to introduce a new anti-princess. Meet Shelley Marie.
What?
You read that right. Shelley Marie, a regular kid, a preteen whose idols aren't the privileged class, but the outside personalities that make up some of Disney's most warped characters. Give her the shape-shifting abilities of Maleficent, the spellbinding prowess of the evil queen from Snow White, or the charisma of Dr. Facilier from the Shadow Man from Princess and the Frog.
Facilier.
There you go. Shelley Marie is also a rare original character created not for a movie, but for a starring role at a Disney theme park in Villainous, a Halloween-themed limited run of Disney California's Adventures' popular World of Color evening light and water show. The company's fairy tale crafters are making the case that evil doesn't have to mean bad.
I'm sorry.
What? I have a lot of things wrong with this.
Yeah, you do have a lot of things wrong with this. After all, no one is ever always good. Instead, the young Shelley Marie, her name a play on Frankenstein author Mary Shelley, is a celebration of the individual and an acknowledgement from the happily ever after factory that normal isn't one size fits all. Shelley Marie, whose fashion aesthetic is a mashup of Wednesday Addams and Lydia from Beetlejuice, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, she has the vulnerabilities of a little girl, but she's got this side to her. I think characters like that are very interesting. I just don't care.
Like, why does she have to be an anti-princess? Why can't she just be a girl?
Why can't? Well, right, exactly. Right. Is she a princess? Okay, then why even say anti-princess?
Well, right, and why are you a little girl who either doesn't like princesses or does? Why can't you like Maleficent and also like Cinderella? It's just separating things more.
I also just would like to say everybody should look up the definition of evil because it literally is wicked, bad, wrong, morally wrong, wrongful, immoral.
Wrong. Just
wrong again.
Wrong.
Bad. Profoundly immoral. Wickedness, especially when regarded as a supernatural force.
Yeah.
One of the creators says there are lessons in Halloween, namely in better understanding what aspects of our personalities we're suppressing or embracing. I think you could say that Halloween is a way of showing that you can be something different. You can be something off the beaten track, and it's fine, Goldberg says. In fact, celebrate it. All kids have social pressures on them. Everyone is wearing this sneaker. I better buy some. To have a character say, okay, I have all that stuff around me, but I'm still going to be who I am, that is really cool. Sure, right. Yeah. But why are you an anti-princess then?
And also, like, Disney's a perpetuator of all of those things.
That's correct.
Right. And how did that work out for Jack Skellington? He went back to Halloween Land.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of that was his he finally realized that it is okay for me to be who I am.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's already been done.
Get
like,
there.
over it.
Right. Anyway, Villainous is only slated to run 20 nights as part of the ticketed after-hours Oogie Boogie Bash.
My aunt is going to that.
Blah, blah, blah.
I should have her tell me how it goes.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This whole weird, evil doesn't have to be bad.
Yes, it does.
It's literally does.
It's literally the definition.
It's stupid.
And we don't have to like the bad guys in movies. We don't have to do that.
No,
I don't understand.
Apparently we are. Speaking of things we don't have to do, but actually, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and also this movie character has already been made in the Hotel Transylvania series.
Yeah, I was thinking that looks just like that thing. Whatever.
Whoa, wow, Taryn. Jeez.
I don't know. I've only seen it one time.
Yeah, okay.
I've seen all three of them.
In the form of a doll.
Abby loves them.
If you ever wanted a room to look like the buyer's living room in Stranger Things, the Jennifer Aniston's house in Friends, or the Simpsons living room, you can through a duplicates program offered by IKEA.
Oh my god.
What?
The Swedish furniture chain's latest ad campaign promotes its real-life series, a plan where some of TV's most iconic living rooms can be duplicated using items available from its collection. In addition to Monica and Rachel's apartment from Friends, you can also own your set from The Simpsons and Stranger Things. The United Arab Emirates-based campaign will be on display in some editions of its catalog and at some Middle East stores, which you would think, and I'm not trying to be divisive or weird at all, but you would think that if any country is going to really dig their teeth into this ad campaign and spend, it would not be the United Arab Emirates or the Middle East. It would be America.
Isn't that Dubai?
Yeah. You would I
think it'd be America.
It would be really weird, but whatever.
I'm not even a huge Friends fan, and I was looking at the one they had, and I was like, that would be awesome to have.
I know. I was like, okay.
Also,
it's hyper.
You can also just create this by going to the Goodwill.
Well, that's true.
Especially the Simpsons one.
Yeah.
The Stranger Things one also.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The Friends apartment replaces... there's some stuff that's different. The Friends apartment replaces the French Jouet print with a vintage car poster, and some lamps and other pillows are different. The Simpsons room offers a brightly colored phone and side table and includes an askew picture of a boat. That's
awesome.
It looks tight. The Stranger Things room is the most detailed, offering such touches as faux Christmas lights and Will Byers pencils.
Faux Christmas
Weird.
lights?
Mm-hmm. Faux.
Oh.
It's French for fake. F-A-U-X.
I know, but why are they fake?
I don't know.
Why aren't they just Christmas lights?
Oh, yeah, it's a good point. I don't know, man.
How much are the faux ones?
Why are you not talking in your microphone?
Because I'm just trying to see on my computer screen.
Because you didn't put your glasses on, and so you're blind as a bat?
Well, and if you're rich...
closer, I can't even see it.
If you're rich, you can get the Friends stuff. Pottery Barn is doing a Friends thing, too.
Friends is back in a big way.
Yeah, it's weird. I kind of love it.
Faux Christmas lights are $145. You can get real ones.
Well, but I don't think that's American dollars because you're looking at the Spain.
Oh, that's true.
It's euros or whatever Spain uses. Anyway, you ready for some Disneyland drama?
Oh,
yes.
Always.
Shoreline Mafia. Are you familiar with the Shoreline Mafia?
No.
Yeah, neither am I.
Is that a social club?
It's apparently a rap gang or something. A rapper called O Jeezy was kicked out of Disneyland. over an alleged gun threat.
Oh, not cool.
Hold up.
Jeezy.
Disneyland.
Hold up. Wait, at Disneyland. The rapper and his crew were reportedly kicked out over an alleged gun threat. As TMZ reports, Jeezy and a number of his friends visited the Anaheim Park on Tuesday, but they started to complain after the Indiana Jones Adventure ride broke down while they were in line.
Which it always does.
And
Welcome to Indiana Jones.
Thank you.
Welcome to
Exactly.
Disneyland.
Yeah. Disneyland sources say that one of his crew made a threat towards a ride worker, telling them that he had a gun. Disneyland police and security were immediately called, and the man was removed from the park. Sources at Disneyland indicated that the man suggested he already had a gun on him, while police said that the man told the worker, "I'm going to go home and get my gun." Jeezy then went on to demand refunds for him and the group he came with, resulting in them all getting kicked out for bad behavior. Jeezy refuted the claims, posting a video of him verbally harassing Disneyland staff. "Shut up, beep," he told the staff member after she requested he didn't take a photo of her. In a follow-up tweet, he said, "All I did was try the letter N, take my son to Disney," which, first of all, it's not Disney, it's Disneyland.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. They talking about someone heard my boy say he got a gun and then wouldn't give me a refund on like 2 bands worth of ticks. These...
sorry, 2 bands is $2,000, by the way.
There you go.
Thank you.
These MFs canceled. I was just as confused as this beep.
This is an America problem. We made this tool famous.
Yeah, this guy is a tool. Like, Google this guy. Google
He
image
looks like
search.
the biggest...
He only has one face tattoo, so...
I can't say any words to what I think he actually is.
No. No, you cannot.
No, you literally can't. Yeah.
I know.
He's in a hip-hop gang.
I don't know. He's a crew. I don't know. Shoreline Mafia.
I mean,
Represent.
I love his face tattoo.
On the way,
given up at all.
On the way out of the park, each member of Jeezy's crew was given trespassing warnings. In another video he shared, he showed staff standing in front of them as they were told to leave, with a caption, as a photo of a police officer, and a caption, "Spam at Disneyland. Tell him I said beep." So I don't know if a trespassing warning is you're kicked out of the park or not. I've heard that he was kicked out of the park. I heard he was banned from the park.
Good.
Yeah.
It sucks for his kid.
Right. Also, like,
his kid's life sucks.
I mean, his kid's life's probably pretty tight, to be honest with you. I mean, if he's taking a bunch of people to Disneyland, I mean, look, he's a rapper. He does things. He makes money, whatever. But like, if you're bringing your kid, leave all that stuff behind. You're at Disneyland, dude, for your child.
Yeah.
First of all, for your child. Why are you bringing your crew with you?
Yeah.
That's just weird.
And also, he looks like a child, so...
But also, just, hey, man, it's a learning opportunity to teach patience to your kid. You don't need your friends go, "I'll get my gun." What? And apparently the indie crew, like, chased him down to, like, point him out to security, and, like, people were nervous.
You don't say that.
I know.
How about for one day, you're just Steve?
You're just your dad. You're
Not
just a
Jeezy. Just be Steven.
Just be Steve or Steven or Stevie.
Is that his name?
I don't know.
It's Alejandro.
Be Al, dude. Be Big Al.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy sucks.
It's just disappointing, man. And indie, too. And I don't know. Weird stuff, man. But that's it. That's the news. I told you we had a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Man.
We had a lot to talk about. News was brought to you by the 21st Amendment. They've been serving craft beer in the San Francisco Bay Area for 19 years. From their initial brew pub on 2nd Street, just 2 blocks from Giant Stadium in San Francisco, to their production brewery and tap room across the bay in San Leandro, the 21st Amendment is now available in 29 states, including in and around the parks. Next time you're in San Francisco, visit their brew pub and then shoot right over, no pun intended, to neighboring San Leandro to check out the new production brewery and tap room for great beers and good food. And be sure to ask for the 21st Amendment wherever you find good craft beer. Yes, Terry, go ahead, please.
Why did I take a quiz?
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
So, my buddy Mart Starkey sent me a quiz from D23, and you guys should check it out. Go on the Google machine right now and find it. It's d23.com/haunted-mansion-quote-trivia-quiz. And you know how much I love quizzes. But it's basically a quiz on the Haunted Mansion quotes.
It's a legitimate quiz.
It's a legitimate quiz.
Like a school quiz.
It's 10 questions. So he sent it to me right before the show, so I gave it to everybody in this room to do. And we're going to see who the ultimate, and it's like, fill in the blank, or when does this person say this, or whatever, right?
I already have a handicap.
Multiple choice.
Well, yeah, but we can't talk about that. What's your handicap?
I didn't realize that it was timed, and I was putting the baby to bed, and so then I had to put the phone down, and then I was like, and then I came back, and it was like wrong, and I was like, I don't even answer. So
okay,
anyway.
fair enough. Taryn has a Terrence, what should we give her as a handicap? Like 2?
1.
1? Okay.
1's fair.
Okay. So I'm not going to do the questions or whatever because, I want people to actually legitimately do this and let me know what happened. But let's just go around the room and we'll figure out who this is the ultimate Haunted Mansion fan of the show is. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
Yes.
Taryn, why don't you go ahead and start? Just start with you.
Okay.
What did you get?
You are
10 out of 10, 4 out of 10.
She has that handicap.
Yeah, it's true.
So with the handicap, I got 8 out of 10.
With the hand, okay, all right.
Can we stop playing this game?
Beverly, go ahead, please.
I mean,
well, hold on a second. Actually, so the question that you got wrong, because the timer ran out.
Was the first one.
Do you think you would have gotten it?
I didn't get a chance to read it.
Okay, so I'm gonna read it to you.
That's fair.
Right now.
Okay.
And then we're gonna see if you would have gotten it. So this will be the first question. Whatever. Question 1: when hinges creak in doorless chambers, here you do it, just right there, because I can't, because it's too much text to read and figure out.
Correct.
Damn it. Okay.
8.
Beverly, go ahead.
Is this graded on a curve?
No.
3 out of 10.
No! Damn.
I got 5.
5?
Yeah.
8 out of 10.
Oh.
Yeah. I was pretty happy.
I will say I felt a little cheaty because.
Here it comes.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't look anything up.
Here it comes.
But I read Alice the Haunted Mansion book every night.
Oh, okay.
So, and it has not all the questions, but a few of them.
So I think then that removes her handicap because she's effectively studying. She's effectively studying.
I didn't know I was studying. Not fair.
So no handicap. Can I get a consensus on this?
I still got it right.
I'm sorry.
And that one wasn't in the book.
Only because
that one wasn't in the book.
Only because she's seen it before. So
I didn't. I said I didn't see it before.
I'm gonna go ahead and.
We're tied. Stop.
I don't want to be tied. I want to be the winner. I want to be the winner. Can't I? Okay,
fine.
It's fine.
Jason, you're the winner.
Thank you.
First time he's ever heard that.
Wow. Damn. I don't know. There's a song written about me. Hey now, you're a... It's my personal song. Dude.
That's your anthem music? Is that your getting ready music?
That's my alarm. I have 5 alarms. All right, we ready?
Yeah.
All right. Again, thanks to Getaway Today for sponsoring today's episode. Whether you're traveling to Disneyland, Disney World, or beyond, head over to getawaytoday.com/earsup. And don't forget to ask for the 21st Amendment beers wherever you find good craft beer like DCA. We are out of here. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening to the program. Don't forget to check out earsup-podcast.com and look at some of the other great entertainment we have. We have some cool blogs. I have another blog series coming up, potentially, about drinks in DCA.
Nice.
Kind of fulfill that with our friend Eric. And we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna have Jeremy and Jimmy and Dan's new show coming up soon, within maybe a month or two. Heather dropped a couple blog posts recently, I think since the last time this show aired. So we have a ton of stuff going on. Don't forget to go to patreon.com/earsup. Sign up to become a Patreon. Support this show. You get a lot of cool stuff out of it, and we get something out of it too, which is the ability to keep doing this program. So thank you very much, and until next time, see you in the parks.